What's up, beautiful Leo friends? Welcome to my channel, Tarot by the Intuitive Teacup. My name's Annie. We're going to read your tarot cards here today. This will be a general tarot message for Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. I welcome you to come into the reading with an open heart, an open mind, desire to better yourself, to learn something. If you're not feeling that way, please feel free to click off and try back another week. Sometimes the messages will resonate and sometimes not. A lot of times they'll make sense in the future too. So again, just be open to that. You guys are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. This is optional advice or guidance. So only take away what resonates. That would be my recommendation. All right, let's do it. Leo, let's get a couple more cards. Beautiful. Right in a row. Oh my goodness. What do you got going on with the Two of Cups? Some of you are falling in love with a Cancer. Some of you are falling in love with an Aquarius or a Capricorn. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, Leo. All right, well, let's start with this message because it came out first. Look how elated she is. How can you look at this card and not just feel so joyful and happy? This is my single ladies card. I'm going to say single person's card for all the gentlemen out there watching, all three of you. Should I be so lucky? So when I say single, I mean very independent. Not really necessarily having to rely on anyone financially, emotionally. Like there's no necessary attachments in your life. It's just, but you're thriving. I want to be clear. This is an excellent card. It's Venus and Virgo. So it's putting a lot of love and attention and energy into your own skill, into your own craft, into your own, I guess you could say identity, right? Because I'm reading for my Leos out there, but you're blossoming. What you're blossoming into, though, is a partnership. Do you see this? The Muse of Material. So that is another Pentacles card. In this deck, I believe it's the King of Pentacles. And then coming out at the end, this is a very unusual deck, the way it's sideways. I love that. And then over here we have the Six of Voices. So this is typically the Six of Swords. Any six in tarot is a victory. Here it's a victory in the mental realm and in your sort of in your mind, which sounds clunky when we kind of say it out loud, but if we kind of dig into what that means, you're finding peace and clarity in your life. Typically Six of Swords, it comes from the Five of Swords, right? Which can be sort of, we actually have it here, which is interesting. It can be sort of self-sabotagey. It can be acting in your own best interest, but sort of sacrificing friendships, emotional bonds, connections to those around you, but not necessarily in a healthy way. More of a, I'm going to play some mind games with you kind of way. It's a pretty immature card. What's cool, though, is that you have the high vibration of the six cards following that. So to me, this is saying you're kind of in the clear. If you were grappling with something or struggling to release an ex or a toxic person, a toxic situation, you seem to have finally made amends that, you know what, I'm happier alone. I'd rather just move on. And ironically, this is what tends to happen, believe it or not. Just as you're not looking for that person, they show up because you've raised your vibe where once, and I mean, obviously this is going to be more for my single people out there. I'm sorry, Leos who are coupled up. I'm still rooting for you. But this says to me that the Leos out there who are finally at peace with the fact that I'm good on my own. I don't identify via other people. Like I am who I am and I'm always enough for me. That's a beautiful energy. And with that, you're going to radiate this air of confidence and positivity and charisma, and it's going to draw people in. People like you are going to be like, oh my gosh, I want to learn from this person. I want to get to know this person. I'm intrigued by them. I wonder what we can learn from each other and share. And there's a really strong connection here. And do keep in mind, yes, it could be friendship. It could be a work connection or any kind of relationship. I have a feeling with the Two of Cups coming through later down the line, for a lot of you, this speaks to romance. Some of you, I'm almost getting a couple messages here about some of you are trying to date someone just like you. And of all zodiac signs for that to come up in, I feel like it's ironic that it's Leo. Because it's like you can't both share the stage. There was just something about it and this isn't for all of you, but for some of you, you were trying to date someone just like you. Or you were trying to date someone because you admired qualities in them, but for some reason it wasn't working. It was like, there was a commonality of wanting or desiring to be, this is clunky, I'm sorry, but it's like to be each other. But what you were lacking is recognizing your own individuality. And that's why it didn't work for a lot of you. I don't know if that made sense. I'm almost getting this metaphor of like, let's say you're an actress or an actor and you're going out in auditions and you're meeting with acting troupes and stand-up comedy people or whatever. You fall in love with that charisma, but it's because it's what you want to be. So it's almost like when you turn that mirror on yourself to look at yourself and be like, I admire who I see in the mirror. And yes, I know this sounds like trite and kind of cheesy, but I think it's a really valuable message. When you start honoring and respecting your own individuality and talents and really kind of giving yourself that positive feedback and self-love, that's when you're going to attract people who are able to give it to you. But I want you guys to really understand that you don't have to be the exact same person. You don't have to like all the same TV shows and movies and dress the same and all that bullshit that, like, you know, when we're younger, we think it's so important, right? Because we define ourselves by how we dress and what music we listen to. But I don't know. In my experience, I feel like a lot of times you look back and that's almost like high school. Like, oh, I'm not going to date this person because they listen to that band. Like, who gives a shit, right? I think there is something awesome in, and this is what, if there's something key here about what you needed was to be sort of your authentic self and not have to cater your personality to try and fit in with other people or be too people pleasing, or your ability to stand out and be different in this relationship is what makes it stronger. And same goes for your person. I don't know, I'm a big proponent too. It's almost incredibly boring when you're dating someone and you guys are the exact same person. It's wonderful to have chemistry and compatibility, but there has to be some difference. There has to be a little bit of challenge and opposition that encourages each person to be the best version of themselves. But I think what you guys were missing was it doesn't need to be a mirror reflection. Does that make sense? Which is really interesting that you have the moon coming up, which does represent the idea of the mirror and the reflection back. Very much Cancer and Leo vibes, which makes sense. I mean, this is a Leo reading, but there's freedom in your authenticity and self-expression. So lean into that more. You're going to find your tribe. You're going to find the right connection. Anyway. There's peace of mind and understanding that you don't need to be anything other than what you are. The right person will let you know that they want to be with you. Versus, again, being too much focused on giving the audience what they want. And I'm speaking in metaphor, guys, but do you know what I mean? If you're putting on a performance, well, eventually, if this person's dating you, they're going to see the cracks or the flaws in the mask, right? They're going to know that it's not your authentic self. And I mean, that just sounds exhausting, having to try and pretending to be someone in a relationship that you're not. So let your heart shine through. The right person will see that. Let's move on to this. All right. So again, you have 2 of Cups, possibly with a Cancer, an Aquarius, or a Capricorn here. Let's do a little bit of digging. I also think you have an ex spying on you or someone from your past. Hold on. I'm trying to understand who's who in this relationship. So I do think that there were 2 females vying for the attention of a male. And I suppose we could strip gender out of that, right? Even if you guys are a same-sex couple or whatever. I do sense that there's competition for this person. And I don't like 5 of Swords anyway. I particularly don't like this 5 of Swords. I think this person, oh boy, I almost said it. I think this person, put it gently, Annie, use your words wisely. I just want to say it, but I can't because it's YouTube. This person screwed multiple people over in more ways than one. Do you understand what I'm saying? Both these people were left high and dry, and I almost see these 2 victims, if you will, as these 2 people coming through here. I don't think this is you in the middle, but maybe it was, right? And here's the thing about this tarot reading. This is not meant to guilt you or shame you or, shake my finger saying, how dare you, Leo. That's not what this is about. This is about just being, self-reflexive and understanding how much you've grown and things that you've changed about yourself, whether it's for good or bad. It's just about being self-aware. There was a third-party situation here. I don't know if you were one of the competitors or the person who was just like, yeah, I got all this attention and I'm a smooth talker and then I'm just going to fuck these people over because I can. The thing is, that comes from shadow side energy. So even if it looks like, I don't know, this person who looks like they have it together and they're just, they're sexy and mysterious and alluring and, you want their attention or whatever, deep down, this person's like a hot mess. They have a lot of daddy issues is what I'm hearing. So yeah, like vying for people's attention just to like fuck them over. Sorry, I said it, but like I don't like this vibe. I think by honoring this part of yourself that can stand on your own 2 feet and not have to feel validation from external sources, when you honor and respect that in yourself and practice that sort of integrity of self-love, again, you find people who you intuitively connect with, and then you're both operating from a place of valuing yourself, not having to give yourself away for cheap or seek validation from people who just don't have they just don't have good intentions for you. And again, I even challenge myself in these readings to not make anyone the monster or the bad guy, because we're all on different, parts of our journey, right? And some people can do this amazing transformation and, in theory, we all want to become the best version of ourselves. So we have to be compassionate for some people who aren't quite there yet. And maybe they are struggling with that. This person's struggling with their identity, and they may have had an abusive father, or they may have had an absent father, someone who, it could have been someone who passed away because of addiction issues. So it's, I don't know what I don't know what their mode of operation is and why they just sort of, I'm hearing like dine and ditch, but that's not what I'm trying to say. What is the sexual version of dine and ditch? You know what I mean? I don't know. This person, it's like they collect women or men, I suppose, as trophies, but then they treat them like shit though. So I don't know what this person is trying to prove or accomplish, just that maybe this person felt like people were running away from them in their childhood, and so now they're doing that, and it gives them a sense of empowerment and that they can't be held down, or I don't know. I think it gives them almost like a power complex. Like it keeps them in charge because they're afraid to be vulnerable. It's almost like that thing of, I'm going to leave you before you leave me, only they keep doing that, and they self-sabotage every opportunity they have to actually form a solid connection. Now, as irritating and infuriating as that is, especially if you are one of the people that was, sort of a road bump in their path forward, or roadkill, shall I say, right? You kind of suffered the consequences of this person's poor decision making. At the same time, and I say it with love, there was something in your energy that was attracting this type of behavior, and it's not to punish you, it is for enlightenment though. There is something that you were meant to learn from this person's patterns and behaviors. And so I know it's super uncomfortable, right? It's not fun to sit with that energy of turning it back on yourself. And again, I'm not saying, think of it as, why did I deserve that? No. It's like, what can I learn from that? So by latching on to people or desiring people, feeling tempted, right? Temptation, sexuality, all that, by someone who really doesn't show me anything positive, or doesn't contribute anything positive to my life, what about that was attractive? Ultimately, you're teaching other people around you how you want to be treated. And so you set the tone for that, Leo. So by, again, putting people up on a pedestal who just simply don't deserve to be there, you kind of have to reframe how you are going to interact with people in and around your life. Again, not about shaming, totally trying to build you up into this, because this is the first card out. This feels amazing. So I will say, because this is almost like a lower tier of this really great story, some of you may have been battling this sort of internal demon for a long time, and it may even have to do with feeling like you're in competition for people's attention. Just something to be aware of. Why do you think you're not good enough, and how can you rewrite the narrative? Because having been through this major transformative energy, right? The devil, which leads into the tower, which is like epiphanies and shocking awakenings, right? It's not always the most comfortable energy, but you bet your ass it's going to get you to grow. And that's what you're meant to do here in this lifetime, right? It's a really good time for you guys to sort of move on from this narrative if you feel like you've emerged from the cocoon and now you're the butterfly and you're ready to go free. Others of you, if you're going through this currently and you're just feeling really stuck of, why am I always choosing these people? I guarantee you, don't seek the answer to that question external to yourself. The answer is within. And I'm not saying you're doing it consciously, but if you're choosing these people, you have to have that really deep conversation with yourself of, well, why am I choosing these people? And I can already feel that this is going to trigger some of you, so I apologize. But in time, I hope that if this is sort of uncomfortable, it's triggering you in a way that is actually going to get you to see something that maybe you weren't able to see before. Anyway, let's see. All right, I'm going to steer away from that because I know you guys are like, oh my God, this is too heavy. I want to click off. I can only tell you what I see, but I do see you being in competition for people's attention. I just really want to underscore the person who you're seeking their attention. They're just not worth it, boo. They're just, I don't know what to tell you. They're a trickster. There's an illusion here of who you think this person is versus who they actually are. In some ways, I do, I'm not justifying this person's behavior or action, but I actually feel bad for them because they have a lot of demons that they're sort of struggling with. And I don't say this to do fear-based readings, but I'm a big believer in karma. So you reap what you sow. So if this person has a history of just screwing people over or taking their money or being sort of mentally abusive or using their like mind control over people and then taking advantage of others, he's going to have a difficult little dance with the devil coming up. So have faith that yeah, you reap what you sow, so you may as well put out the best version of yourself, because light attracts light. That's what you're going to get. You know, the shadow's going to attract the shadow too. So leave the consequence of this person's action up to them. All you need to do is detach. There's someone waiting in silence or not communicating to you, but they're watching you. And I don't know if that's this person. It could be someone else. I'm definitely getting something about a Cancer or an Aquarius. And possibly a high vibrational Capricorn. These don't need to be the same people. Sometimes the devil just strictly represents Capricorn or someone who's really ambitious or really involved in their work. Yeah, I feel like someone is struggling because they want to communicate to you, but they know that you're taken and not available, and they maybe don't want to instigate third party. But I don't know how I feel about this, but there might be like a mild obsession with checking on you to see if you're single. Because I think this person has a lot to say and a lot to express, but they're not coming forward because they think you're with someone else. And even if you're not, I don't know, there was some sort of miscommunication where I don't think this person wants to fight for your attention, which is a really interesting message. Did you guys hear that? This person doesn't want to fight for your attention. Because they know that if it's meant to be, it shouldn't have to be a struggle, right? Just to be able to connect and communicate and be passionate with you. I don't think this person is going to stoop down to like playing games with people and like, do you know what I mean? Their love isn't up for, I don't know, it doesn't have to do with competition. I don't know how else to say it. It's not like love isn't a game to this person. They take it seriously. And I think this person is very sensitive and very, I'm sort of getting the idea of fragile. It looks a little bit icy. So I think this person has a very deep well of emotion. And so by putting it out on the line, I think they risk rejection. And so I think they're trying to get comfortable with the idea that if I approach Leo, what is he going to say? What is she going to say? Whoever this is. What is this high priestess wanting to do here? Yeah, they feel like they should walk away because they don't think you're emotionally available. Because you're still struggling to release an ex, or you're still, you might be nursing some wounds or trying to disconnect from an emotional situation from your past, or again, sort of embracing this cup of self-love. What about the Aquarius? The Aquarius is scared to come forward, or they feel like you're punishing them or ignoring them, but they feel guilty or ashamed of their behavior. Yeah, they feel like they're being put in the naughty corner, but it's by you, Leo. Does that make sense to anyone? Capricorn? Yeah, no. Okay, so these two probably are related. There is something very Capricorn about the way this man is dressed, too. I don't know what it is. Yeah, the Capricorn is giving to multiple people. And again, and then they like kick them to the curb. It's like they promise you the world and they romance you into bed, and then they're just like, sorry, sister, gotta send you packing. And like I don't know, and don't get me wrong, I love my Capricorn gang. I have some of my best friends are Capricorns. This is not one of those like high vibing Capricorns. This is like someone who's in it for the power play, but they're using their power in a negative way. They get off on this sort of power position of being able to call the shots, but again, it comes from a deep, deep place of wounds, of feeling rejected and abandoned by their own family, and ironically, they're repeating that habit. So, yeah, I don't know, I would be very cautious of that. I don't love these vibes. And if it doesn't have to do with using you for your body or for sex, it could even be for money or for as cheesy as it sounds, like shelter from the storm. It's like they call you when they're in a bind, and yeah, maybe sex is part of the deal, maybe it isn't. But then the minute they're back on their feet, they're like, bye. Wait, who are you again? Like I don't know, this person, again, I send them compassion and good vibes because they're going through it too. They're not. Yeah, I don't know. And I don't think this is you, Leo. I mean, it's possible this could be some of the cross watchers going in on the Leo energy, but for most of you, I sense that you're coming into this thing of, I'm not going to be someone's option. I'm not going to be someone's plan B anymore. Like, again, this really strong, like, I'm good as I am, love me or hate me, unapologetic, this is who I am, so watch me shine. That is how you're going to attract the people that are meant to be in your life, your soulmates, right? And I say soulmates with a a plural, right? Because it doesn't have to mean one person. I think best friends are soulmates, right? I think family and cousins, in a sense, can be soulmates too, right? Brothers, sisters, whoever you connect with, your friends, your coworkers, your teammates. I love the imagery here too. Like, keep in mind, these are different decks, right? There's something very similar to me about the way these two are depicted. And this is you, and do you see what you're about to do? You're just gonna like flick that fucker off. It's like, I don't need you anymore. Like you're done with it. And so congratulations, because I feel like this is something you've struggled with for a long time and sort of, what is a good word for it? Justifying. I was trying to find that word. Justifying reasons why you should take this person back, or justifying why they treated you shitty that one time, but then justifying it the second time and the third time. And part of you guys you were forever the optimist that this person was going to change their ways, or that they would eventually choose you. And energy can change, but right now I would steer clear of this, because this person they have a lot of stuff to heal within themselves. And I want to be very clear, it's not your job to do that for them, right? No one's doing the healing work for you, right? Leo, you've had to like man up, woman up, be responsible, and own it, right? Flaws and all. It's not about being perfect. It's just about putting in the effort, right? This person needs to do the same. And I'm just going to be super real with you. Do what you want. Act as you will. I think even if this person comes around and does the work and comes back to you, I think you're going to be so moved on. It's like a blip on the screen, which I know seems impossible, because to a lot of you right now, this had like, I don't know, I think you really put this up on a pedestal to be the one and the only one, and someday they'll come around and someday they'll see me. I just don't sense that, because I think you can do so much better. I think you are minimizing your value. There's a lot of like pentacle energy here of not seeing your own self-worth and settling for less than you deserve, and also less than you desire. Again, you inform people how much you're worth, how much you value yourself, right? So yeah, shed that light, or shine that light, show it to the world. So let's end this on a positive note. Let's see what's coming in for Leo. Let's see. I guess we'll do this one. Yeah, you're like flicking this person off the earth. You don't need them anymore. And there is a giant mountain here that makes me think of Capricorn too. I feel like some of you went through it with a toxic situation with a Capricorn. There's the mountain. Yeah, you've ascended the mountain. You're like, the hardest part is done. Now you get to like relax and casually go down the hill and like, but actually while you're up here though, while you've had the epiphany, while you're seeing the light and clarity, enjoy the view up here, Leo. Like I want to say that. This feels incredible. And it's possible you may have another Capricorn coming in. I see Cancer in this card a lot. I just, and that with the High Priestess. So I don't know if any of you have a Cancerian in your life. What's the deal with the Aquarius? The Aquarius feels like they can't approach you. Or you had an Aquarius do something with the law and they can't get to you. Like, I know that's a very unique example, but is the Aquarius in jail, or in metaphor? Like, did you put them in jail? Do you know what I mean? This person's afraid to come to you because they feel like they're being punished. And for some of them, it's literal with the law. So there may have been marital problems, and somebody acted on their passions outside of the marriage. And there may have been children involved too. There could even have been a pregnancy outside of a marriage contract. Ugh. I don't know about that, Leo. What do you think? So then what can I tell this person this is either you or it's someone peeking in on you. So, yeah, it's so funny. It's like this person doesn't want to give up on you. This person wants to... It's a similar message of what I told you. It's like, is it worth waiting around for? And I don't really know the answer. It's like there's some days where this person just wants to quit and walk away, and other days where they're like, I know this could work, I just don't. It's like I don't know how to approach Leo, or I'm too afraid to be rejected by them. And if this makes sense to anyone, Leos or cross-watchers included, this feels like a cross-watchers reading to me. I don't know why, it just does. Don't put your life on pause for other people. You know, whoever needs to hear that, because if you are interested in someone and they truly are in another connection, that's completely out of your control. So I think this might be saying, give it some time and distance, emotionally detach, and see what comes. Maybe what comes is that Leo ends up single and goes back. Or Leo, if this is you, maybe this person ends up, breaking it off with their person and they're free. But maybe not. Maybe this whole person waiting on a connection to end, maybe when they decide, you know what, I'm good. I'm not going to wait for that. I'm going to value myself. Boom, the next thing that comes in, it's like a response to your high vibration. The universe gifts you with a really healthy, authentic, fun, passionate, sexy connection. I like that a lot. Yeah, whoever needs to hear that, it's like you're iced out from something and it's like coming from the cold. You don't have to just stand there, on pins and needles waiting to see what happens. Either take a risk, right? Take a risk and say, fuck it, and ask this person out. Or be like, you know what? They're clearly in love with someone else. Maybe I just need to... It's an AB conversation. I got to see myself out, right? I think that's what this might be. With the sickle, cutting ties, and 8 of Cups. Moving on to find emotional fulfillment elsewhere. All right, let's give you one of these. Oh, yeah, let's do one of these. This deck is new, so bear with me, but I'm going to read from the book. This is the Dark Mirror Oracle by Laura Sava. In fact, you're the first zodiac sign I'm using it with. Oop, that came right out. Bottom of the deck. Blind to pain. That looks very Two of Swords to me. And I won't cry for you. So I'm going to read what this says. If I can find it in the book. Let's see. 22. Oh, dear. Okay. So this is broken down into the moon phase, 3rd quarter. So we're past sort of the culmination, the bright, big full moon, right? Where the moon is essentially waning. It's getting smaller, right? So we're tapering off into the next cycle, but we're not quite there. This could be the grieving period, right? Detaching from what we know isn't good for us. We'll see. Anyway, I'm going to read it to you. All right, 22. I won't cry for you. The stage is acceptance. Sometimes when it's over, closure must be created, not just found. With her back to the light of the moon, a beautiful woman with deep blue eyes sheds dry tears of blood. I gave you my last gift. I shed my last tear for you. It is a time to not let you free, but to let myself free. Breaking up can only be done by 2 persons. One will do it earlier, maybe, but sooner or later the other will follow. One can afford to do it with words and actions. The other probably will only be able to do it inside her own heart. It is painful. It is definite. It's hard. It's sometimes necessary. You are letting go of a part of yourself, of hopes and dreams and trusts, and you let go of feelings and memories. You let go of the emptiness you felt and the connection you relied on. Anger will help at the beginning, but at the last part, the road cannot be done with just anger. Closure comes when you dry up your tears. It is a gorgeous moment when you allow yourself to not give a damn about it. All that was past is not a credit or a debt. It is just suddenly no more than a gift. You can raise your chin. After all, tomorrow is a new day. All right, Leo, that's what I got for you. Please remember to like the video, guys, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you very soon for more tarot. Bye, Leo.